everyone, good day. So we are the reporters for the Chapter 7, Lesson 3, and we will be discussing about the ethical issues concerning teaching profession. And here are the reporters: Romaris Abigail, Celerio Angel Marie, and Satinitigan Christine Claire.
Employees are entitled to take personal leave if they are not fit for work because of an illness or injury. Employers can require their employees to produce medical evidence that would satisfy a reasonable person of their incapacity for work. Obtaining a medical certificate is extremely important when it comes to providing legal and valid proof for a number of scenarios. An absence from employment, missing classes at a university, being considered fit to fly, or reimbursement for tickets to an event due to being sick or from an injury are all reasons to see a doctor for a medical certificate. It is an employer's duty to keep these medical certificates for record-keeping purposes. If an employer asks for proof of sickness or injury and the employee does not provide this, the employer can refuse to pay them for the sick leave use. That's why some of the employee will create a fake medical certificate so that the employer can't reject to pay them for the sick leave use. One of the examples of inappropriate punishment towards students is the corporal punishments because it triggers harmful psychological and physiological responses. Children not only experience pain, sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, but feeling threatened also leads to physiological stress and the activation of neural pathways that support dealing with danger. Children who have been physically punished tend to exhibit high hormonal reactivity to stress, overloaded biological systems, including the nervous, cardiovascular, and nutritional systems, and the changes in brain structure and function. Despite its widespread acceptability, spanking is also linked to a typical brain function like that of more severe abuse, thereby undermining the frequently cited argument that less severe forms of physical punishments are not harmful. Next is the expulsion, refers to a permanent removal of the students from his or her regular educational setting due to a violation of serious schools rules or a policies. The length and reason for expulsion vary by state and school district. Expelling a student from the school is the most rigorous punishment, and it usually occurs when a student engages in criminal activities such as stealing or drug dealing.
One of the ethical issues concerning teaching profession is cooperation between colleagues. Cooperation in the workplace can mean many things. It involves the level at which employees participate in decision making, how management and employees work together to resolve problems, and how all levels of the organization work together to achieve common goals. If there is a lack of cooperation between teachers, or if there is bullying between senior teacher and new teacher, or even if there is a lack of teamwork, a lack of empathy, and lack of support between teachers, then something may not be achieved. There will be a misunderstanding between teachers that can lead to chaotic situations. There will be instances like that some teachers will get insecure to other teachers. That's why they won't cooperate or even provide a support. Another ethical issues concerning teaching profession is misuse of public facilities provided in school. Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter are just some examples of social media platforms in which it is very rampant nowadays. These social media platforms can be easily used in cell phones and computers to be entertained and to have communication to other people. It can have its good benefits, but sometimes it can be abused, like using it in a way that disrupts or is likely to disrupt the learning environment or interfere with the operation of the school. Bullying, intimidating, or otherwise harassing others through SMS or text messaging, or through photographic, video, or other data transfer system available on the phone. Also, recording of conversations with other colleagues without the knowledge and permission of the person or those involved in the conversation, and using it in a way that threatens or is likely to threaten the safety or well-being of any person, and also using these platforms beyond its limit. Aside from that, there are also other facilities that a teacher can abusively use, like laboratories for chemistry, physics, biology, or computer laboratory and library.
Hello everyone, my name is Abigail Romares. Proceeding on the ethical issues concerning the teaching profession, I'm going to talk about the topics choice of teacher and discipline issues. First is the choice of teacher. Assigned class is made by the headmaster without the teacher's consideration. The choice of a teacher for a particular child or group of students the following year is one of the most common ethical concerns in education. Such conflicts frequently arise between the principal, school administration, and the children's parents. The principal, school administration, and parents normally collaborate to select the instructor or teacher. Such an issue usually has two predictable outcomes. The principal either reluctantly agrees to the parent's request or publishes a blanket statement outlining the policy against respecting parents' preferences for teachers in individual classes. The majority of teachers have no say in what year level or subjects they will teach, because of the headmaster's or school administration's decision. For example, a Filipino teacher may be teaching a science subject or other courses rather than in Filipino. Many teachers teach outside their area of expertise. Out-of-field teaching, teaching a subject without specific training in that subject, has long been a taboo practice that most teachers are aware of. Many have experienced, but few have spoken up about due to its widespread prevalence. That could lead to lack of teaching motivation. If a teacher does not have a choice or teaches subjects outside of their major, it is possible that you will lose motivation to teach. The majority of the reasons for the instructor's lack of motivation were extrinsic, meaning factors outside their control. Workload, pay, a lack of resources, a lack of social recognition, and a curricular constraints were among these factors. So, it's critical to think about teachers, since having little choice and being overloaded can lead to overstretching and stress, which can negatively impact their teaching careers. Next is the discipline issues. Discipline issues are also a common ethical concern in schools among teachers, students, and parents. Under the discipline issues is the zero tolerance. A zero tolerance is a code of conduct in place at elementary schools, high schools, and universities that sets ground rules for student behavior at school or on campus. It refers to a set of rules or guidelines a student at an educational institution must follow or face disciplinary action. Students who violate the terms of a zero tolerance policy can face a variety of disciplinary measures ranging from a single day suspension to full-fledged expulsion. The zero tolerance approach versus the give them another chance policy cannot be applied universally. Some people, particularly parents and guardians, may be opposed to the zero tolerance policy in schools for reasons best known to them, while others favor it. Many people question and criticize it, which is why school discipline is one of the ethical issues in the teaching profession. Next is the no opportunity to listen to both sides. There are times in school when it seems one-sided, especially when it comes to punishments. There are times when it is necessary to overlook the side of the argument with which you disagree. There is no opportunity to learn about a person's point of view and listen to both sides, which might lead to a larger disagreement. It's essential to understand the difference between facts and views while trying to comprehend both sides of an issue. This can help us see the bigger picture. Lastly, the role of mass media. We can get information and events instantly now that we live in a modern period where mass media is as accessible to almost everyone, especially on the internet and social media. Everything will be posted and will go viral with only just one click. Because of the mass media, even disciplinary actions in schools that are filmed, caught on camera, and uploaded to YouTube or Facebook may be easily accessed and watched.
Ways to overcome the issues. Faking medical certificate. The school administrator should only accept the original copy of the medical certificate. This means the medical certificate must be based on facts known to the doctor, including the practitioner's own observation as well as information provided by the patient. Any medical statements in the certificate must have a factual basis. Imposing fine for those who involve in handing in fake medical certificate. In creating, buying, or submitting a false medical certificate, you are committing fraud. This is not just against university rules, it's also against the law, and potentially carries the risk of a maximum prison sentence of 10 years if prosecuted by the police. Organizing a fitness program for the teachers. Organizing a fitness program for a teacher is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle for them, and schools can play an influential role in helping teachers engage in physical exercise and play. We are going to look at the importance of physical activity in schools and discuss some ways you can put this information into action so you can help your teachers do better in schools and develop healthy habits they carry with them. Inappropriate punishment towards students. Punishment must be made by the consideration of two teachers. Teachers should understand the pros and cons about using punishment in the classroom, as schools frequently build punishing or aversive consequences into plans designed to help manage students' behavior. Different punishment for different misbehavior based on guidelines made by the school administrators. When selecting negative consequences to impose for student misbehavior, the teacher should carefully consider possible harmful effects of the consequences before implementing it. Parents' agreement for teachers to punish their children in proper ways.
Proponents of teacher collaboration believe that teachers working together have a positive impact on each other and contribute naturally to school improvement and the success of the students. Specific types of teacher collaboration include working together in teams, sharing responsibilities, providing feedback, and building trust. Every teacher needs to practice openness between colleagues. It is very important to be open to other teachers, Like, for instance, you will accept suggestions in order to improve. Another thing is that every work should be divided equally among teachers. All of you are working to feed your family, and all of you needs the job, so the works should be given fairly. Older teachers should put away their ego towards new teachers, and there should be a respect between teachers, both old and new. And also be an active listener and make use of an effective nonverbal communication because it can also serve as a powerful tool in building cooperative relationships at work. There are some ways on how to overcome this issue. First is provide user record for each school facilities. This is very important in order to have a tracing form and to monitor who and when it was used. Another is assigned a school staff to monitor teachers' activities when using internet. It's not that the teachers cannot be trusted, but it is just a way to make sure that everything is under control. That a teacher used the internet correctly and not for his or her interests, but for the benefits of the students. And also, put a notice boards of rules and regulations in order for the teacher to be aware and to know his or her limits in using the facilities, especially the internet.
Here are the ways to overcome the issue about choice of teacher. First is to have a discussion with the teacher and have an agreement. Assembly and meetings are an effective way that school administrators, staff, and teachers can share and exchange information, get feedback, plan, collaborate, and make important decisions to achieve a common goal. It will bring everyone together in a harmonious and healthy environment, resulting in high-quality education and teaching performance. Next is to give the teacher the freedom to choose. If a teacher is allowed the freedom to choose, it will have a significant impact on how they teach and how students learn. It will motivate the teacher to teach. Teacher motivation is linked to student motivation, and teachers who are enthusiastic about teaching can inspire pupils to learn. Teachers can have a positive or negative impact on children, but if teachers are driven, this impact will be beneficial. When it comes to discipline issues, here are the ways to overcome it. First is society should stop pointing their fingers towards the teacher. We frequently hear parents, guardians, or members of society ranting or saying, "Is that what your teacher teaches you? Is that what your school is teaching individuals nowadays? Is that behavior you've learned at school?" No more finger pointing. As parents, we should be reminded that our children's actions are not solely influenced at school, and teachers and schools should not be solely blamed. We should also take part in shaping our children. Second, mass media should stop manipulate the issues. Discipline has clearly broken down in some schools as a result of issues that will become viral. Everything will alter as a result of one usage of the media. Some teachers would prefer not to administer punishment and would argue, "There is nothing I can do." Discipline actions and corporal punishment have been prohibited, and any teacher who dares to use them would face a prison sentence. As responsible citizens, we should not manipulate the issues. Not everything that went viral is true. We need to hear the other side of the story in order to make an informed judgment. Before making a judgment, get both sides of the story and discover the genuine truth. Third is parents should play their roles to raise their children. According to Jeffrey Holder, a child's education begins at home. Parents are a child's first teachers and help shape their character. As parents, We are our children's first learning models. Our parenting and how we raise them have an impact on our children's personality and behavioral development. So, rather than delegating responsibility to teachers and schools, we should perform our duties as parents to our children. We should also take an interest in our children, particularly in terms of discipline. Thank you for taking the time to listen.
And we hope you learned something.